I'm Katie Darrell, and today we are at home and social with David Duchovny. David, how are you?
I'm pretty good, all things considered. Thank you.
You know, crazy times, but with
Yeah.
crazy times, we have good music, and that's thanks to you.
Well, thank you.
Transition, right?
Yeah. Well done.
Well, congratulations on the new single.
Yeah.
It was just released at the end of October. Were you happy? Like the day it came out? Was it a goosebump type of day?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because music is still will always be that way for me because it's not something I ever really thought would be part of my life, like releasing original music or anything like that. But it was a real sprint to get it out before the election. I mean, that was the idea. Like once we have like 14 new songs that we pretty much recorded almost 10 months ago and then shut down. And then as we opened back up a little bit here in New York, started to be able to mix the songs. And then I just took a step back and said, hey, it's no way the album will come out before the election, but let's get a song out. Let's get that song out. Just because I'd never written a song like that, and just because I kind of, I kind of vacillate between, wanting to agitate politically and also or considering myself like an artist that just is about like human nature and timelessness rather than what's happening today or tomorrow. But I was like, yeah, for my kids, in a way, I wanted to like just say, hey, at least I tried one thing, at least I spoke up this time. Maybe it wasn't in time, maybe it wasn't enough, maybe it wasn't good enough, but I tried.
Well, the track is called "Layin on the Tracks,"
Yeah.
and it does. You've said it's personal, it's political.
Yeah.
You did take the opportunity to use your voice
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't do that, and they maybe write or play music in solitude. But
Right.
to lay on the tracks literally and release it, I think you did your part.
Yeah.
Tell us about the story with the day you wrote the song, the pen to paper, the lyrics streaming, from your consciousness. Was that
Yeah.
an easy process, or did you have a lot of writer's block, and was it a hard song to get put on paper?
This song happened in a way that no other song that I've recorded happened. In that usually my songs will just I'll just work on them at home. And then when I get them to like 75%, or I get a few verses and a chorus, I'll take it to the band and we'll kick it around. Or they bring me something and I change a couple lyrics and that's it. But
Yeah.
this one, Colin Lee came to me in the band and he had this song. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just very personal and kind of dark and dreamy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, do you mind if I just rewrite some of the lyrics? And so then I wrote those first lines just kind of about, where we were as a country, just divided. And then I was like, oh my God, this is turning into a political song. And then I was like to Colin, should we just lean into it? So we've never really written anything like that. And he was like, yeah, let's go for it. Cool. And then we kept his original line, which was like, nobody knows where to find you. Nobody knows you half the time, which is very personal and kind of vague and, not political, which I kind of liked. It kind of like not so pointed. And then like, it was like second verse, let's lean in, stupid orange man in a cheap red hat. Let's go get it. And then it was like, okay, well, hadn't written like this before. Was really disturbed. And this is before the pandemic, this idea of like a poison rain and crowds gathering where they shouldn't gather. And it was just kind of like my confusion as to how we got to this point where we would be listening, where so many people would be listening to this person.
So this the new song "Laying on the Tracks" and the upcoming album, which hopefully comes out in 2021, it was started pre-pandemic. Was it completed? It wasn't completed because and that's what you're saying.
It was completed in terms of writing. Yeah.
In writing. Okay, so that's where my question is. So the writing was done, but then pandemic does hit. Was there a moment, where you sat up in bed and thought, oh, I need to go back and change that line now, or I want to switch this because
I was
what you know now is different?
I was like, holy shit! Look, that's kind of prophetic, like the crowds will gather in the poison rain. I was like, I guess I was onto something. I don't know, but it's like, lyrics should be vague enough to adapt, and I haven't really gone over the other lyrics to kind of see, but I generally don't write, from today's headlines.
Right.
So, I mean, if I had written viral rain, the crowds will gather in the viral rain, I might go, oh, well, that's like too on the nose. And
Right. No one would believe that I wrote this before.
Right,
Then, right.
right. It's going to hurt people's feelings too. It's like,
Yeah.
So acid rain. I mean, I think that was an adjective that I played around with. I think I had written acid rain because that was, because I've always been thinking about environmental issues for years and years. And it was like part of my astonishment and being appalled at the Trump administration was the rolling back of so many ecological protections. So acid rain was in there, and then I think Colin preferred poison. So these are little changes that eventually become like, oh wow, you were smart, but yeah, you're just lucky sometimes.
The working title for the album, which hopefully comes out in 2021, is Gestureland.
Yeah.
Today, during this conversation, do you feel like that's the title, or do you still consider it the working title? Well, when do you make this decision?
I made that decision a while ago. I made that decision last year because I'm like I'm a stranger in a strange land with tweeting and social media, and there's so many gestures that I don't quite understand, and it always amazes me how somebody can really step in shit by making the wrong gesture, and I feel like we live in gesture land in that way, and I like the title, and I think it'll probably last for a while.
One thing a lot of us have been really enjoying during the pandemic and these political times is Saturday Night Live. And you have had the pleasure of hosting it twice, both of which were the season finales, which is a very coveted spot. I just want to talk through your SNL experience. Do you love that live comedy experience, or does it totally make you want to throw up?
Both, because I'd never done anything like that. And I don't know that anybody has, where you're basically, you're walking into sketches that you've rehearsed a couple times, but you haven't memorized anything because they're always changing lines. So you're really going off cue cards. And my vision is as I'm more where I can read things up close and not far away. So the first time I did SNL, I was like, okay, well, I better wear contacts because I won't be able to read the cue cards, but I'd never worn contacts. So I was like, all right, well, let's get some contacts. And then I was like, I don't really feel like rehearsing with the contacts. So I'm sitting there at like 10:30 on a Saturday night, failing to put these contact lenses in. And now my eyes are like bleeding and tearing. I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to go on live TV, not knowing any of these lines because they're all on cue cards that I won't be able to read. And they had to like find a nurse to come and like, it's like, holy shit, I'm so stupid that I let it come to that. But I was shitting myself. I was like, you're such an idiot, David. Why did you wait till now to try to put this
I know that should have been part of like the wardrobe fitting, right?
Absolutely.
Bring in the contacts.
I'd never worn any. So I was like, how hard can it be?
That's fantastic. You have a video, going back to the song.
Lyric video, yeah.
And it's very visual. And there's a lot in there. Tell me about the imagery that you included and the thought process behind that.
Well, these lyric videos are interesting things because they're not like the MTV videos in days of yore where, or still do, where they shoot like an elaborate, expensive thing. And this is more like the finding of stock footage and the writing of the lyrics over that stock footage that kind of evokes the feeling or the imagery of the song. And I'd never seen a lyric video before I did a lyric video. I didn't know they existed.
Listen, it's very new. Sure they did exist before, but yeah, this whole visualizer concept is very pandemic. So it's okay. You're in the know. You're in the know.
So I sent off to the guys who were doing it, I sent off some images in my head that I thought were appropriate for the song, like obviously like trains and tracks, and like the oldest movies that we have are of, you know, the damsel being tied to the train track, and I was like, that's perfect for where we're going right now. And then they added a bunch of crazy looking cool stuff, stock footage that um, I loved, you know, just out of nowhere, like, you know, guys being shot out of a cannon and stuff like that. And so I think that ultimately, you know, it just works kind of like a subconscious unspooling of the song.
Um, musically, I'm sure you've gathered up some cool memorabilia over the time. So I want to go
Mm,
ahead and play Rock and Tell, which
mm.
is show and tell with music memorabilia, or anything cool that you have around that we can maybe geek out over, because, you know, friends don't get to go over to friends' houses anymore and look through their
Okay.
junk. So you're our friend and we want to look through your junk.
All right, so I got a few things. Only two of them are music memorabilia. I got four
Okay.
things here. One, I'm going to
We'll
shamelessly
call the
plug.
other one the wild card.
Two, I'm going to shamelessly plug the new novel that comes out in February because I have the galleys right here.
Woo!
This is an important time when you go like, this is not for sale. You know, they just send it to you, and
Mm-hmm.
this amazing time when, like, this novel that was in your head and that you worked on for so long, it has weight. So this is the best time.
And is this your third or
Fourth,
fourth? Fourth.
truly like lightning. All right, so that's a,
Wait, no, you can't just show it and then just be like, this is great, and set it down. Give us a
I'm
little
just showing
taste.
that it's like, it's the weight of it. It's like, hey, it exists in the world. It exists in the world.
Is this book going to make us cry? Is it sad? Is it emotional?
Good.
What's the journey?
It's I'd say it's an epic Western. Yeah, it should make you cry. It should make you think. Working on it as a series to develop for Showtime that I'd act in with the guys who wrote and directed Peanut Butter Falcon. I don't know if you saw that movie last year. It's a terrific movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
Mike Schwartz and Tyler Nilsson, great collaborators. So yeah, I can't wait to get started on that. Oh, geez, this big bee just flew into my bed up there. Did you see that? You see that thing?
It's a murder hornet. Watch out, David. Get out of the
That,
house.
that thing was so big it had a stewardess on it.
Whoa. All right.
Excuse me, flight attendant. So now, oh, there he goes. Oh, he's huge. So this is something that Brad Davidson, who I work with in music, sent me because he found it like in a curio shop. I don't know what to call it, like a secondhand store. But
Oh,
it's
okay. Yeah.
the name of my album was Hell or High Water, and he found this like dime store pulp novel where the guy's like killing a shark with a knife with his bare hands.
He is a manly man. That guy,
Yeah.
that guy has it going on.
I haven't read Hell or High Water yet, but because it's still in the package here. But
Yeah.
it's pretty short, and I think I'll get to it. It looks like he's taking care of that shark right there.
I'm going to take some advice from that guy because he knows what he's doing.
He's just going right at the shark.
Yeah.
Okay, this we'll save the real music memorabilia for the last. This is the only autograph I own.
Really?
The only autograph I ever got as a child. I wasn't interested in collecting autographs, but I found this recently. This is the only autograph I have.
Does it say Willis Reed?
It says
Oh.
Willis Reed.
Wow.
Do
And
you know
you've
who
kept it
Willis
all
Reed
this
is?
time.
You know who Willis Reed is?
I don't.
Oh, but his handwriting is good enough. Yeah. Willis Reed was the center for the 1969 New York Knicks.
Okay.
And yes, I met him. As you can see, there was a tournament that Willis had for kids where they would like shoot hoops and try to get a certain amount of baskets in a certain amount of time, and you would get like a T-shirt. You know, obviously most people didn't win. I didn't win. But if you can see, like this, obviously my T-shirt came in this because it's like got sizes on it.
Oh, wow. So so as a kid, you weren't into autographs.
No,
And as adults, most of us aren't either. How do you feel about people approaching you for autographs?
I think it's fine. I understand it. You know, everything changed with the advent of phones. You know, so everybody has a camera now,
Yeah.
and that's different. You know,
Yeah, practicing your autograph is one thing, but practicing your awkward selfie pictures, you can't ever practice that. Like,
yeah. So that's something I have to have gotten used to. You know, it feels an autograph feels like a communication or a negotiation. A photograph feels more like a violation. But that's just because I'm old. You know, I think that young people don't feel that way about photographs.
yeah.
So there's that. And this is my music. Remember when I played the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, they give you a brick.
Oh, cool.
This thing it's heavy and it gives you the date of when you played there. And
That's nice.
so I hold my window open with it. Hopefully it won't fall on the good citizens of New York. And
Yeah. They definitely will know who to blame if so.
well, I got my name.
It's like writing your name on the murder weapon, David. Come on.
Yeah, maybe I should erase that. I'm gonna write your name on it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going down for this. I'm not going down for this. For those of you just joining us, we are at Home and Social with David Duchovny. David has a new single out right now. It's called "Layin on the Tracks." We are hoping that he releases the full album in 2021, potentially titled "Gestureland." How did you first get introduced to music? As something that you could do? I mean, sure, we grew up hearing music, but when did you know, oh, I can pick up an instrument and I could make music?
I keep staring at that bee.
It's coming to get you, man.
Do you want me to try and show them to you?
Sure. This is turning into a nature show.
I don't want to anger him though.
Hey, if we get you stung on a stream, this great view.
Do you see him?
Oh, yep, there he is. Poor little guy.
Little, he's huge. All right, that's him. He seems pretty cool right now. So we've reached the kind of détente, him and I.
Yeah, right.
Good?
Yeah, you've picked your sides. You've picked your sides.
Yeah. What was the question?
The question was, when did you realize that you could participate and be part of the music and not just listen to it?
Probably about 6 years ago when I started to write songs, and I never really thought that I would record them. I just thought it was fun for me and satisfying for me to have written songs, or to know that I could, that it was just something that I was able to do. And then recording it was a completely different experience. And then, you know, not wanting to embarrass myself because I'm not a great singer, to like work on my voice with enough commitment and honesty to get to a point where I liked performing live, you know, and I could get out there and have a decent bet that I could approximate the melodies that I had written. So yeah, it's all been a process that way.
I feel like I cut you off. I think you had one more piece of memorabilia, a music piece, didn't you?
These are pics that were given to me at the end of Californication by the creator of the show, Tom Capanos. So it says, it's big pic, as you can see. It says Californication there, right? Which is, okay, that's cool. But on the back, it says, so that's from Tom Capanos, Californication pic.
I love collecting guitar picks. I have a whole stack of them at home, just sitting in a jar. It's so fun. I love it. I love when it's customized.
You want that one, don't you?
I do. I want that. Hey, you send me one of yours, I'll send you one of mine. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I really appreciate it. The new song is called "Layin on the Tracks." He is David Duchovny. Keep an eye out for his book, his album. Anything else that you're going to drop on us?
We got The Craft out right now. Movie, not in theaters, but on demand.
Sounds perfect. Well, we're going to stalk you every way we can. So.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks so much for spending time with us.
Thanks. Be well.